Welcome to the daily video blog. We're going to try something new. We're going to talk about news. Joe and I will comment on whether we think pro or con, like whether we're in favor of or against certain things. So in the news recently, there's a protest in England against the anti-austerity. It's an anti-austerity protest because the government's trying to cut funds to things like public services such as welfare and education to reduce their deficit. And the English are up in arms. Are you for or against austerity measures by the government?
Well, as a former public servant, I know what happens when programs get cut by the government. So if you don't want your meat inspected anymore, and you're okay with growing great long tapeworms in your belly, then I'd say cut programs. I can't see that welfare programs and education programs being cut makes sense. Doesn't make sense.
Joe seems to be in favor of growing the deficit. Let some other generation deal with the outcome. I'm in favor of austerity measures. Maybe the way they're going about this one is, I don't know all the details, but I do know that continuing to build a deficit and letting some other generation take care of it, well, if you're lucky, it won't blow up before your generation is dead and gone. But I don't think passing the problem on to the next generation is the way to go. I think people need to suck it up and grab the bull by the horns and deal with it.
Grab the tapeworm by the horns.
Well, they didn't say anything about stopping meat inspections. They said they're going to cut welfare and cut education. Well, that might not be good either in certain respects, but I don't think it's good to just say, well, we'll just keep growing a deficit. And then one day the economy will implode and then everything falls apart.
So
let's move on to the next one.
We have a difference of opinion.
Yes, we do. So we'll move on to the next one.
We're like Siskel and Ebert.
The next one is the Aboriginal women in Canada. Thousands die at a disproportional rate to non-Aboriginal women. Usually they die at the hands of someone they know. The RCMP has released this report saying, they acknowledge this, but the government of Canada doesn't seem to be all that interested in doing something special, like some special investigation or, making some special moves to put an end to this. I think the government of Canada is way behind on doing what they should do on this one.
I agree with you. I know from what Doris has said that, yeah, it's really bad. From what I've read, nothing happens. Women are found in ditches. And if their family doesn't raise a big stink, nothing happens. And who listens to the families sometimes anyway?
Anyway, okay, good.
Every death should be investigated equally.
Now, which of those is more important, the Aboriginal women being killed in Canada or austerity measures in England?
Aboriginal women.
Yes. And the next one, the last one, the Confederate Flag in South Carolina. There's a petition to abolish its presence, like get it off the flagpoles because it's still flown down there in front of government buildings. And there's a petition to get rid of it following the shootings in South Carolina in Charleston. Someone walked into a church and shot and killed 9 people.
Someone or a white guy?
I think it was a white guy who killed 9 black people. Don't quote me on that. Look it up yourself. Are you in favor of abolishing the Confederate flag?
Yes.
Yes, me as well. I don't know why it didn't get abolished a long time ago. I was just watching an interview, and I'd never really given it much thought, but this person pointed out that the Confederate flag is the flag of a traitorous element within the United States. They were traitors to the United States. They started the Civil War. So
sedition.
Yeah, and it represents, to many people, that's what they see. They see, well, if they're flying the Confederate flag, they're not faithful to the government of the United States. So I kind of go, yeah, why is it still being flown in some of the states? It's still there. Why? Well, it's tradition. But it's a tradition pointing to a time when blacks were not considered equal. So it's kind of a slap in the face to any black person to have it still flying.
Any person.
Well, any person, I guess, because, yeah, we're waving the flag of a traitorous former nation, I guess.
Perhaps we should have a moment of silence for the 9 people and their families that were gunned down.
A moment. How long is a moment?
till you're silent.
Okay, so if you have differing opinions, we'd love to hear them. If you don't say anything, we will conclude you are in total agreement with us. Have a nice day.